Welcome to episode 96 of The Endless Scream. I'm Aidan, and as usual I'm joined by Brian and Kevin. We are three artists, illustrators, filmmakers, all-round shit talkers, and each week we take some of the endless stream of content brought to you through Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Disney+, Spotify. Wherever you get your content, we take a chunk of it, we watch it, and we talk about it. This week we're talking about Extraordinary on Disney+, we're talking about the Fabelmans, we're talking about the Oscar nominations, we touch on Colin Kuhn, we touch on Elvis the Whale. We talk on loads and loads and loads of things. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to the podcast, heading over to iTunes, heading over to Spotify, liking and subscribing, rating and reviewing. All of these things really help us out. Spread the word of The Endless Stream. On top of that, you can head over to Instagram at The Endless Cast. Give us a follow. We put up artwork to go with each and every episode, and we put up clips as well. And that's a great place to send us a message, send us a suggestion of something to watch, send us your opinion on something we have watched. Disagree, agree. It's a great place to engage with us over there. Or you can go old school and send us an email, theendlesscast@gmail.com. Just a heads up, as I didn't mention it in the main body of the episode, next week's episode, which will release on the 6th of February, we will have a guest, Kirsten Scheel, who is a animation professional and art director. She's joining us to talk about her art, her career, but mainly she's going to be talking about Columbo. She's doing a rewatch of that series, and we are going to be watching in advance of that. Bunch of episodes from season 1. Episode 1, Murder by the Book. Episode 4, Suitable for Framing. Episode 5, Lady in Waiting. And then from season 2, episode 6, A Stitch in Crime. So we're going to watch some or all of those. Please do join us if you'd like to. Columbo's a classic. Peter Falk is a legend. These things have been around forever. He started in the 70s. They ran until the early 2000s. It's a great, fun murder mystery show. And you can see Kirsten's work at Kirsten Scheel Art on Twitter and on Instagram as well. All of that being said, let's get into the episode.
Come on in, give us an exercise to get the energy up. Surely you know something. Group thing to get the energy going.
Nothing over.
This is why you do improv, right? Just so you can teach it to
No.
corporate people. This is why you do it. Just so you can do workshops for
the corpos.
Corporate types, yeah. The only reason you're doing it, right? It's the only thing
I think I'm
that would make
possibly
sense.
the worst
It'd be
improv
the only
person.
possible reason for you to do improv. That's the only reason I can think. So come on, let's get the energy up.
Are you okay?
Let's get it up. You got nothing.
I got nothing.
All those improv classes. Jesus
nothing.
Christ. You saying that you put the man on the spot? Does he perform?
Meryl Streep is coming back for season 3 of Only Murders in the Building, apparently.
Oh, okay. Is she in season 2?
No.
Okay.
No.
So she's not coming back. She's joining.
Well, the show is coming back,
Okay.
and she's coming back for season 3.
I thought you were going to say there's like a Mamma Mia 3 coming or something.
I've never
Along
seen
with
Mamma Mia.
Paul Rudd.
Oh, really? Oh, yes. I did watch a strange Paul Rudd movie this week.
What's that?
I don't know kind of why we watched it, but it's Paul Rudd, Owen Wilson, and Jack Nicholson and Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon. It was a weird movie. What was the movie? It's called.
How do you know?
2010 romance comedy. It's 2 hours long. It's a weird one. For a good portion of the movie, you're like, why is Paul Rudd in this? Like, what's going on with his character? This seems so weird. But it's like you're watching it, it's just like, why did he do this? I suppose if like in 2010, if you're told like, here you have the chance to act with Jack Nicholson, you take it, right?
I think so. Yeah, that might be a part of it.
Because it's a very, but look, it's a rom-com. Rom-coms are always funny because you can get really good ones, but then you just like, rom-coms are not representative of the stars that are in it, if you get me.
Yeah.
It's like stars do them for filler, for cash, you know? So you can get a good rom-com that has like nobody in it. You can get a really bad rom-com that has like 15 mega stars, you know? It's funny.
It's fucking dog
Funny
shit.
genre.
Well, that's the 30 Rock did the kind of takedown of those movies. It's almost this new mini genre in itself.
The rom-com takedown.
Like, no, the what did they do? Like 30 Rock did one where like they're all holiday based, you know. So you pick like some kind of random holiday and you cram everybody in it. It's a sort of Love Actually kind of thing.
Yeah, Labor Day.
But it became
Valentine's
there was
Day.
there was about 1 billion of them at one point.
Yeah.
Same directors,
Like Penny Marshall,
kind of churning them out.
or what's the other Marshall? Rob Marshall.
Martial law.
Doesn't matter.
You're right, Brian.
What was the Amy Poehler? Was it Paul Rudd in that as well, or Adam Scott? They Came Together. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
I have. I'm sure I have.
The Wet Hot American Summer stuff doesn't really work. There's good gags in them, but as a whole, they're usually too.
It's somewhere
Not as
between
silly as they
Lethal
think they are.
Weapon
Yeah.
and
Lethal Weapon.
Naked Gun. Apologies. It's somewhere between the sort of Naked Gun spoof and
What
Yeah,
American
it's
Summer?
trying to be the airplane. Yeah, it's trying to be the airplane kind of levels of silly, but they don't really work. There's good gags in them for sure.
There's good gags in them. There is good gags
Yeah.
in them, but
is.
they're just too silly, too over the top.
I think.
And
And I love silly, but it just doesn't work.
Is it just too narrative? Like when I think about Wet Hot America, when I think about like say Naked Gun or Airplane, you know, like it's just like the plane. The simple thing is the plane's out of control. We got to land the plane, and then gag. Wet Hot American Summer, there were romance subplots, and there was nuclear waste under the place, and was it just there was too much?
I don't think that's the problem.
yeah,
I don't think that's the issue. I think it's just a lot of stuff doesn't work.
Well, there's not.
I
There's
did
not much
also-
past
Sorry.
Naked Gun in that spoof field that does. Like, how many other, like, scary movie
Top
never really
Secret.
worked for me. Top Secret's great, but that's the same people, isn't it?
Top Secret's great.
Don't know.
What was the other one? It's not obviously not Die Hard. It's another one. Spy Hard. What did you say?
Spy Hard, yeah. Did you like
Did
Spy
you say
Hard?
Spy
Hard
Hard?
Shots.
Hot Shots is great, yeah. Did you?
I like Spy Hard. Yes. Yeah. What one did you say?
I didn't like Spy
I didn't
Hard.
like Spy Hard. No, that for me felt
Didn't
like
work.
trying to recapture lightning in a bottle. Like it was the arse end of the.
They're
Naked Gun end.
remaking Naked Gun with Liam Neeson. Or rebooting it rather with Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I can see Neeson in that sort of archetype, I guess.
Have you seen him in his cameo in Atlanta?
No,
It's wild.
really.
Watch Atlanta.
Is he okay? I should. What was the one with
It's
Rashida
crazy, you know, that
Jones
we've got this podcast about stuff that we consume and watch and talk about and recommend, and everything I've watched that you haven't yet seen, you still haven't seen.
Who?
Unbelievable. All of you.
I'm watching.
Every
I've
one
not
of you.
watched. Nope.
Atlanta?
I've not watched Atlanta. I've not watched. What's the thing? that
Have
keep
you
telling us
watched?
to watch?
Have you watched The Old Man?
Yes, I started watching The Old Man. I started watching The Old Man,
Good.
and I started watching Atlanta.
Good.
And I really like The Old
Good
Man.
man.
Where Jeff Bridges talks through his bottom jaw all the time.
That's
like
pretty good.
this.
It's not bad
pretty
actually.
good.
That's a good Bridges. he really
Well, there
has
you go.
decided to start chewing on
And
every
his
word.
tongue as well. His tongue is kind of like he's always kind of biting his tongue the whole time. It's like he's kind of got his tongue rolled up and it's taking up all the space in his mouth. And it just
do-
kind of.
I like Jeff Bridges. He was brave enough to do Iron Man back in the day.
Hey, look, I was talking to my brother about
I
it
love Jeff
yesterday.
Bridges.
Fair play for him, you know, doing the John Wick level kind of jiu-jitsu stuff at the age of 70 something.
In Old Man.
In The Old Man.
Yeah, I am enjoying it, Brian.
You see, you know that if you haven't watched it. Have you watched it? I don't believe you.
Who, me?
Yeah. I don't believe
Well,
you.
I've watched it.
Look down the camera.
I was.
Tell me you watched it.
I've watched it. I was really surprised that it's kind of like, because I was trying to explain it to somebody how like basically it's like John Lithgow and Jeff Bridges are just
Let
two.
go. I really have to watch this show.
Oh yeah, season.
I love
said it
Lithgow.
around.
Oh, so Kev mentions it once, and it's a must-watch for Aiden.
Yeah, I have that effect on people, Brian. We'd be a great team if we only could get together and do something. Never going to happen.
We should get together and do something.
We should get together and do something.
Like-
Maybe like some sort of format where you could recommend things to watch. Because
Recommend
obviously
stuff,
we're both
watch
on
stuff, and recommend stuff.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah,
And like this
yeah,
back and
yeah.
forth we have is dynamite as well.
Yeah, I love the
It zings, you know.
yeah.
So we got a new trailer
it's
for
God, here we go.
Dungeons and Dragons.
This guy again. Oh my god.
I'm still looking forward to that. That's actually coming out quite soon. Got a new trailer for Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
I didn't watch it, but how I didn't get a chance to watch it because I forgot initially when I saw the post or the notification. What did you guys watch it? What did you think?
I think that in an effort to bring Shazam more in line with the Snyderverse stuff, they've lost what was fun about it. That is my fear going into this movie. I don't
Why
like.
are they trying to bring it into Snyderverse stuff?
I don't like the costume redesigns. They were trying to bring it because they were doing Black Adam, so they were trying to like bring it tonally closer. I think. And now that Black Adam's tanked, it feels like a redundant move, and they should have just kept the sort of the joyousness and the fun and the candy coatedness of, like, even the redesign of the costumes have these little like silver armory little like armor bits. I don't even know, they're not armor, they're just like detailing, and it's like, why is that there? I know it's a tiny nitpick, but it's one of those things where like it was such a bright, colourful, soft, cartoony looking costumes everybody had, and now they're over textured and over designed and over whatever, and
The classic trappings of a sequel, huh? Is there nipples on the suit?
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I thought Shazam
It's my favorite DC movie.
designed
no
or
shite.
Shazam dissolved into the universe or whatever, but he's immediately back. I'll go and see it. It will be much better than I think it is going to be, I'm sure. For some reason, I'm really down on it. I think the Black Adam thing has hurt it in my head. Like, is there going to be a Black Adam post-credit where the two of them meet?
I think Black Adam's done, no?
Well, see, this is my fear, is that like this thing is still trying to. This is stuck with the remnants of their intent.
I gotta say, I feel very vindicated, you know, shitting on The Rock every time he comes up. And all the stuff about the behind the scenes shit he was doing, pushing Black Adam, does make me feel, you know, smug.
I gotta say,
Gotta
over
say.
the last couple of months, the worm slowly turning on him has made me resent you for being right this whole time.
I'm going to
Say more. I love it. I love it. Keep going. Keep going. Feed it.
I'm going to assume that poor old Rock is just having, you know, a moment.
The fact that he rolled straight from promoting Black Adam to promoting Red One, like this big Christmas franchise with J.K. Simmons, you know, like again, we talked about it a little bit, but just like, we're working on our new franchise, and it's like, it's not a franchise. Make one fucking good film and see if it deserves a sequel. You know what I mean? Like, if it necessitates a sequel. Stop thinking about things as 10-year franchises. What sort of fucking cinematic franchise are you creating for J.K. Simmons' Santa Claus? Why is it tactical? Why has American culture so militarized? Anyway, moving.
Oh, Jesus.
I love you, Rock.
He's just coming on here for a bit of a giggle, lads. A bit of a laugh, a bit of a hoity-toity, but this, Jesus.
I should probably watch
Jesus
Succession as well. Feels like
don't
that's
do it.
sticking. People like that. And The Sopranos. I should revisit The Sopranos. And by that I mean, watch The Sopranos.
Yeah, watch The Sopranos, you goober. I did watch a Richard E. Grant, Melissa McCartney movie called Will You Ever Forgive Me?
Right. How was that? Because that I haven't seen it. I like Richard E. Grant. I'm not a big Melissa McCarthy fan.
Why? Do you hate good acting?
I don't like
Sexist?
this. I don't know how much I can defend this stance, but I don't like comedy that centers around fat person fall down. And Melissa McCarthy was a lot of that for a long time.
Look, she was a lot of it for a long time.
So, but that doesn't deny the fact that she's done great stuff as well. She's she's good in Gilmore Girls and stuff. But like, there was a lot. Like,
why did I bother bringing up the movie at all?
She's hilarious.
I'll cut what I said. Kevin, how did you find Will You Ever Forgive Me? I like Richard E. Grant.
I really liked it. I really liked it. True story, based on a true story of a, I would say, what were their name? I can't think of the name. But they were a down and out author, that would do biography books, but very much from the perspective of the original author. So Dorothy Parker was one of the people that she wrote, or not from the original author, but from the original person's perspective. So she wrote books, say, like she would have done a biography on Dorothy Parker. And people would have found it like she really writes through these people's voices, you know.
Right, okay.
So she had a knack for that kind of thing. So what she was down and out, and she found a letter that she had from a writer, and she sold it to kind of like a collectioner, like an auctioneer collection place, you know. And then she started kind of, because she had this ability to be able to write from people's perspectives and sound so much like them, she started writing forgery letters, and then through different typewriters. She'd have different typewriters all out in her apartment, laid out with different people's, like, you know, she'd have one that would be like, say, Dorothy Parker, another one that would be like Fanny Bryce, I think was one of the other people she was writing about, you know. But she would have these different.
So she was like forging correspondence and stuff, was it?
Yeah, exactly.
Weird.
So she was making up all these letters and signing them, and then bringing them to different auction places and selling them. And she became friendly then with Richard E. Grant's character Jack, who definitely has a drug and addiction issues. Definitely has drug issues. Kind of sells cocaine on the side, and all this kind of stuff. But like they form a friendship. They try to turn Melissa McCarthy's character's life around. They clean up her place. She goes away for a while, but basically they both get deep into this forgery because they're making tons of money from it, you know. And then she goes away on holiday to do something, or I can't remember like exactly, but she goes off to do some forgery business. And when she comes back, Richard E. Grant was meant to be looking after her place and her 12-year cat, and the cat passed away. They have a fallout, and then different things ensue from there. But based on a true story, and I was phenomenal, you know. And I was reading up about the true case afterwards, you know, and like she was meant to be like kind of a very insufferable, hard person to get on with, you know. And even at one stage, she was writing an autobiography when the person who was alive was writing their own biography, and they tried to pay her off and be like, "Here, look, you don't have to do it. Like, I'm writing my own one," kind of thing, like, and like, don't release your book and all that kind of thing. But she insisted on writing the person's biography herself, like
in their
which
voice,
is obviously nuts. In their voice, yeah,
and like a first person. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, and then released it, and it kind of obviously it tanked or whatever. But she should have taken the money, you know, because the other book was like a outright hit straight away. Like, she released her one a month after. No one was obviously interested in the biography not written by the person when they just released their own, you know. But yeah,
so what?
Interesting movie.
What's like? I guess what's the arc or what's the plot, or is it just a weird like is it just about the weird shit that goes on in this person's life, or is there like a three?
I like. Yeah, well, I would watch it. I'd watch it.
All right.
But like I really enjoyed it. To have to say, I wasn't expecting because sometimes like we try not to kind of just always watch like say like what's on or what's new and all that kind of stuff. So we watch
100%, yeah,
random stuff basically. And it's always good to go back to, you know, especially stories and things that you're not familiar with or things like that. I just remember something else I watched, but I'll stop. But yeah,
no,
anyways,
what was there something else? Go on.
Well, I don't know if you watched it. Brian may have watched it. We watched the first 2 episodes or 3 episodes. Now we skipped through a lot of it because there's so much crap in it. That new game show on Netflix that's like Squid Games.
I want to watch that. What's it called? The 100 Physical or something?
Yeah,
is it?
yeah.
Oh, with Sexy Yama.
Sexy who?
Akiyama.
Who's that, Brian?
I think it looks like Akiyama. Maybe it's not Aki. I should probably check if he's actually in it. That'd be kind of racist. I'm gonna check quickly.
Well, I don't think it's racist, but like, you know.
It's a bit because from what I've seen, they're all Korean. So I've just assumed it was him.
Who is he, Brian? I might be able to
It's
help
a
you.
Korean show, and he's Japanese. Japanese guy. It's almost definitely him.
It's the host, is it?
Hang on, I'm looking it up. No, well, it looks like he's competing in it. He's Japanese of Korean descent, though, so it must be him. Hang on, let me see.
I thought you said he was Chinese.
No, he didn't say Chinese, to be fair to him.
I thought he did. I thought Brian did. Sorry.
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
No.
Let's find out. Let's find out together.
No, I thought Brian said it.
Is there a guy called Akiyama in it, Kev? Yeah, it's Akiyama. Okay, thank God.
I have to see a picture of him.
Leave all that in.
Leave it all in.
Yeah, leave it all in. Akiyama, he was
I have him.
he's an MMA fighter. I think actually, do you remember Aiden?
Oh yeah, I know exactly who he is. He's like, and like, cause like there's
Sexy
Brian,
Yama.
okay,
That's what
Yes.
they call him.
watch the show, because I was wondering, like, because somebody basically there's a part of it where someone comes up to him and challenges him, and he kind of says himself like, I'm kind of like, fair play to him. I didn't think anybody would come up to me and stuff, and other people are just like, whoa, what? Like, but I had no idea who he was, obviously, because I don't follow any of this UFC stuff or fighty stuff. But
He was from K1 back in the day.
Right.
The glory days of,
all that stuff.
good striking sports. There was a DVD in that the kickboxing.
Yeah,
Remember that?
I remember us watching it in the
Kickboxing.
house in Monkstown, but I don't remember Akiyama specifically. I remember watching the
Okay.
Warren Sapp stuff. Is it Warren Sapp? Bob Sapp?
But there's footage of him. There was footage of him kind of pre-fight. He was a Olympic judo. So there was pictures of him, or footage of him, like training behind the scenes and stuff. And we were all just like, holy shit, look at that dude. Because he's in like ridiculous shape.
But he still is.
And he still
20
is,
odd
yeah.
years later. Yeah.
And hence he's in his 40s. He's 40 something now, which is, most people don't fight past 35. Well, I mean, some people do. I mean, I guess the MMA kind of allows for it a little because of the grappling and stuff. But anyway, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, so the first challenge, everybody has to hang. It's a grid is lowered, they hold on to it, it's raised, and then the floor opens up above water, and then they hang there for as long as they can. It gets down to like, obviously it gets down to like 3 people, then 2 people, whatever, out of 100 people, in 250 people intervals. Do you know what I mean? And then like kind of, but they go on, like the last lad's hanging like, it's like UDT. There's a good few UDT guys there, which I imagine is some form of the Korean army. Is what I got. Is what it was. Could be completely wrong. It's literally just what I took away from watching the show. Skipping through stuff. It's just like, trust me. It's like I probably, as it goes on, I could probably skip through less as the numbers come down and you get more enamored with certain participants and stuff. But yes, but people are hanging, like holding on for 15 minutes. Like, it is nuts. And
Wow.
then the next one is like they walk into a room and there's a grid on the ground of 50 people, and there's a raised grid, a tiered grid of 50 people, and the first 50 walk in and they're on the ground, and the second 50 walk in and they're on like a kind of tiered seating podium type of thing, and it's like they're the top 50 and they're the bottom 50, and then the winner who held on the longest, he comes out last with like an introduction and way, and people are clapping and stuff. But like, it's so funny when you watch it because it's dubbed. I'd rather I'd rather watch it not dubbed, right? Don't watch it dubbed because it just comes across like an anime. Hey, who is this guy?
Yeah,
she's really brave for a
that.
girl, huh? It's so bad. It's like, I show these guys, I got everything I can do it, and it's just like, oh my god, it's like, it's so anime
hate
trophy.
that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
it's even like that though with
say,
like with any. I've even seen like German stuff or
true, actually.
anything dubbed. Man, the voice actors really fucking ham it up.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why I can't watch it. Can't do
Like,
it.
surely it should be just like, you're a voice actor, act like you're doing an animation. If like, like a kind of like a Disney animation, you're not gonna be standing there kind of going like, as over the top. But anyways, you know what I mean. Yeah. Yes. So, and then the second contest that they had to endure was the top 50 people. Essentially, kind of would pick somebody from the top 50 people get the.
It's like Fall Guys.
Pretty much, yeah. The top 50 people get.
I'm aware of the game. I have not played it.
You've seen it, yeah.
You've seen what's the goal like?
It's basically it's a Ninja Warrior Squid Games type thing.
Okay.
You get knocked out, so only if you start out with like 50 people, only 42 will make it through the first game, and it's just eliminating people round after round.
Okay.
That's basically
That's in Fall
Squid
Guys.
Games, Ninja Warrior type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend watching the 100 physical?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would have said watching it last night, except for there's only 2 episodes at the moment.
Oh.
It's a lot of fun. The second contest, top 50 people got to pick anybody they wanted to go into the next challenge, you know? And, so basically the idea is people in the top 50 will pick from the bottom 50, but the guy who came number 1 picked like somebody in the top 50, and everybody's like, holy shit, like who is this guy? What's going on, you know? But then the next challenge is they were put into these little arenas where it was 1 versus 1. They were put into these little arenas, and they had to hold on to a big leather ball. And whoever could hold it on longest for the 3 minutes in the ring would win. But like there was full on like kind of just grappling on the ground, wrestling, and one person got a shoulder to the face. Oh. One guy was moving around, so he lost, and the guy who was evading him was incredible, but the guy chasing him was literally running on all fours like kind of a spider or a monkey running around the arena. It was nuts, but I do recommend it. It's like, you know, yeah, if you like Squid Games, they've done it in a very clever way where they can make it as intense as Squid Games without the actual the risk to your life.
Well,
because the violence, because by doing that whole like kind of like the top best 50 and stuff, they're creating that kind of tension and fear, you know what I mean? Like it's very well done.
They did a reality show kind of thing of Squid Game as well, and they did what was the thing with Terry Crews that was trying to do a Ninja Warrior thing as well? Was it
the Beast or something?
Like,
oh yeah, the Beast was okay. I wasn't watching it.
So tied up in like the format and like sweeping shots of the.
Did they have another one before that, or was it
with The Rock?
I think he hosted the first season.
Was there another show?
Maybe he did. Sorry, Brian.
Did they have another one? Or I'm just trying to remember. There was one where the ice climbers were just beating everybody at everything.
Oh wow! I don't know. Is that The Floor Is Lava?
That could have been the Beast, Brian.
Was that the Beast or not? I think it might have been the Beast, yeah. And like they had everybody in, like they had, you know, like Navy guys, climbers, kind of boulders and all that kind of thing. But there was the people that would just obliterated everything were the
ice climbers.
Like ice climbing specifically. There was something about the
slippy and grippy
grip and the strength to kind of weight ratio and stuff that they just destroyed people.
That's crazy.
You wouldn't want to destroy anybody, would you, Brian?
Anyone you want to destroy, Brian?
Oh God, yeah, sure.
Oh,
let's start with your immediate neighbours, and then work our way out around Cork.
I mean, no,
Brian
no,
has
no,
any issue with his
like
neighbours.
that.
That's what the fuck.
Yeah.
Neighbours in the countryside a sound pad.
I watched episode 2 of The Last of Us this week. That show is fun so far.
Oh, actually,
they put
sorry to
the
interrupt
first
you.
episode for free on YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah, and I've not watched it. Yeah.
The opening of it's great. The opening of that first episode with John Hannah. They're doing a great job with these cold opens. I was talking to Chris, friend of the podcast. He's been on. And we did talk about the fact that like the cold opens are so far the best bit. They're really capturing this sense of like drama and fear and danger. But those things don't exist in the video game, as far as I know. I haven't played the game. The show itself is, like the body of the show is fun, and people who know the game can spot, you know, how faithful they are being to the game. I'm sure there's points where that's, you know, there's deviation. But it's little things like, you know, how he moves a bookshelf to clear a door, or how he does something or other, like their mirroring QuickTime event. And those are fun nods. There's one moment in it that they did something that's very video game-ish, and I'm not a fan of it. But I also, as long as they just don't do that for the next fucking 3 seasons or whatever, we'll be fine. But there's a moment where they're moving from one space to the next, and Joel and Anna, I think her name is, they walk out of the space and you're behind Ellie, and the camera just gets a bit tighter on her as she moves through the door, and the light fades. No. And you know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of it's a video game transition that's like that.
As a transition, yeah, usually
that function
like
is
loading
used.
A new area, they do a little. Yeah.
They try to do
That's
very
it. That function is used to disguise the fact that they're loading in new assets, and it's a lovely little nod, I guess.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's like,
to the game, but it's one of these things that I think about in terms of filmmaking and storytelling and shot structure as what's the word? An unfortunate necessity rather than an actually good filmmaking choice. You know what I mean? So them doing the TV show, it's a nice nod to us, but it's
decision.
I just hope they don't do a lot more of it. Is basically what I'm getting at. I have railed against the concept of some like video game style construction in movies in the past. Like if you remember The Amazing Spider-Man, when he needs to get from one end of New York to the other and he's got to swing across X amount of cranes to get to the building to fight the lizard. Like we see a helicopter shining a light on Spider-Man on a building, then the helicopter runs the length of the cranes, lighting them up, showing his destination and then coming back to him. It's a pure video game mechanic to show us the intended direction of the game. There was a period of sort of action movies I saw where there was a lot of that sort of video game language working its way into action sequences, and I'm not a fan of it. It's clunky necessity for a different medium.
Yeah, it's silly. It's like, trying to do a first person, like they did in the Halo TV show, I think, like trying to do the first person thing. They did it in Doom as well. Yeah. And it's like, it doesn't need it. The point of adapting a game into a film is to adapt the story, and you've got the audience. Nobody wants to see it played out like the game. That's never. Anytime I played something going, God, this would make a really good film or something, I'm not thinking,
I'd love one of these tight
I hope
squeeze
they keep in the
crack.
stuff from the game. Yeah.
I hope they keep the loading scenes.
Yeah.
Shot for shot.
Yeah, like anytime a video game character goes into a lift and has to stand in the lift for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Although I do remember, like, the first time I kind of remember seeing it being done well was in Uncharted 2, which is made by the same studio. And you're kind of going through the ice caves and you got to squeeze through this really tight, narrow kind of section. And it was done well there. So if it's being done to kind of heighten the claustrophobia and stuff in the moment, okay, but it sounds like they're doing it just as a nod.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then they don't need to do it more than once. Once is enough.
I think you mentioned the studio there. That's Naughty Dog, right?
Naughty Dog, yeah.
It reminded me of Rockstar as another studio, and then I remembered that last night I was sitting in a restaurant and I saw a lady opposite the table from me, and like did not seem to be covered in tattoos, but had one tattoo on her wrist, and it was the Rockstar logo, like a 3-inch like logo on her wrist. I was like, that's odd. Let people do whatever they want, I suppose. But it's like, do you work for Rockstar, or do you just love GTA?
Maybe their name starts with an R and they like stars.
Okay.
And it's completely unrelated. Maybe.
Or maybe they feel like they're a rock star living on the top of a cop's car. I'm pretty sure that's how that song goes.
Judge everybody. Just judge everyone.
Absolutely, you can't just
Wait, now I'm getting mixed messages. Do I judge or do I not
decisions.
judge?
You don't know their story.
Oh, judge hard.
Don't.
Definitely.
Brian, you have an issue in Cork about children acquiring cats' penises for their own political gain. Can you elaborate?
What?
There was a news article there of a child identified as a cat. No,
Sorry,
don't
I
go
went
there.
out
I'm only
there.
joking.
Sorry.
Aidan, do not read the message he sends us.
He clearly doesn't.
I'm so confused.
He doesn't listen to
That's
a
rude.
word I say. Just whether it's a recommendation or news.
Cats' penises.
Keeping him up to date with all the goings on. But he obviously doesn't care.
I missed the cat's penises
Okay,
thing, and
doesn't
suddenly I'm the weirdo. What? Somebody explain this to me?
No, it's all in the text.
Even if I have to. Oh,
No.
okay.
Don't have enough crayons.
No. Okay, quickly. There is a story doing the rounds, and it's become a good way for me to identify who the. Not saying any names. So
Right.
let's not say.
All right, I won't say names.
Let's not say any names.
This story is about, a school somewhere, and a kid is identifying as a cat, and that the school is allowing for it, and it's just this transphobic bit of fake news that people fall for. It's staggering that
Right.
people fall for it. But there was a story I showed you a couple of weeks ago. Somebody that I follow shared it and was laughing at it, thinking it was real. But like the post that they had in their story right before that was just, all this kind of positive affirmation, be who you are, be whoever you're supposed to be in the universe kind of thing. And then the next thing was them falling for this cat thing. And it's just like, and anybody who sees that and doesn't immediately go, oh, well, that's fake. And anybody who sees that and is critical of it, you just know they've got some kind of transphobic sentiments that they're sitting on, because it's somewhere a couple of layers back, they're kind of like, they're thinking that all this gender stuff is bullshit. If they're laughing at
Getting
the
out of
cat
control,
stuff,
and that's it. Yeah,
if they're just part of them thinks that we're actually heading towards this. But so someone that I kind of follow
It's those people
shared,
making stories up.
yeah, somebody that I follow shared an example of it. I heard at first that it was in somewhere in the US, and then it was proven to be fake. And then months later, there was a story doing the rounds that it was something in Australia, I think. And then somebody was claiming this week that a school in Cork, that there's a kid identifying as a cat, and that the school is tolerating and stuff. And it's just like, it's been proven to be
Bollocks.
absolute bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. But the people who fall for it and share it and are critical of it, like I said, they're the usual anti-vax.
Just the usual dorks.
They are the usual fucking dorks. And that's the thing as well. Like a lot of people, they don't know one way or another about a topic or an issue. And people then spreading this sort of like misinformation are trying to capitalize on that and turn them. They're taking people in the middle who are very kind of reasonable, good people, but, don't know the ins and outs of something. And then the first things they hear about it are kind of something negative, that it's a kid, identifying as a cat, and what's next after that. And then that they go from being kind of in the middle and not really knowing one way or another to kind of like, that's why I kind of challenge it when it comes up, as exhausting as it is all the time to be that person kind of going, well, actually. But I know for the most part, people don't really hold those views, They're just being fed it from, it's the radio, it's the kind of chatter in the background or something, and people kind of going, oh yeah, no, I don't like that. But the second you kind of, interrogate it, just a little bit, they're kind of like, well, okay, well, all right, yeah.
And it's even like, I guess a key thing is when you're talking to somebody who's kind of fallen into this category, it's like, there's no point attacking this person going, don't be fucking stupid. It's like, so what do you, like, do you have any problems with any actual trans people? Like, or do you just want people to live and let live?
Yeah.
Like,
I was talking to a guy about it,
and
and
people to just
it was stuff he had just heard on Rogan, basically, and all the stuff he was saying was all this kind of just stuff that like they're mutilating kids, at the age, like everything he was saying was just not true. I said, look, forget all of this for a second. I was like, if there was someone in the class that identified one way or another, and they'd prefer to be called this or that or whatever, whether it's a pronoun or a name or something, I was like, what would you do? And he was like, oh yeah, like whatever they, however they want to be kind of called or known. It's like, well, that's it. That's all it fucking is. That's all it is. Anything beyond that is just fucking people who don't get it, who are just kind of coming from a place of fear or hate, and
yeah, or it's like just it's like either people don't get it, or it's coming from like it's stemming from ignorance, or like a deeper issue that they have an issue with, or a problem with. But I don't know. People are nuts. But a lot of this stuff is going to look pretty stupid in 10 years' time. And then a lot of stuff that we consider progressive and woke is probably going to look pretty stupid in 10 years' time. It's an ever-changing world, but you just have to kind of be open to learning every day and forgiveness. People have to be also fucking kinder, and people make mistakes. People say stupid shit. People have bad takes, but you have to kind of open them up to the idea of like you can fucking change and learn, and like there's no point kind of hounding somebody to change and learn, and then when they do, never forgive them. That doesn't help either. that's counterproductive, you know. But I had two guys in the studio a week or two ago. One of the lads I know, but they'd both kind of be Joe Rogan fans and like Jordan Peterson fans, and they were kind of saying stuff to me about it, and I'm just like, oh guys, look, to be honest lads, it's not for me. It's like, I really don't like it. And they're like, why? And I kind of had to explain to the two lads why I just think they're massively problematic, that they're kind of, you know, they have bad takes and stuff and all that kind of thing. But the lads were really like, really it's just like they never heard like another side of like Joe Rogan's a fucking misinformation peddling fool, and Jordan Peterson wants men to be accepted. I'm sad that men have to build our cities and don't get love. Aiden's so uncomfortable. Aiden,
I'm not
up.
uncomfortable. No,
fucking...
I think I've said to you before, like I've been in rooms where somebody's like, any Jordan Peterson fans, and people put hands up, and I'm like, okay,
wow,
noted.
A lot of you.
And it's always sometimes kind of surprising. I see what he says that appeals to people. I see what Rogan says that appeals to people. I know that digging deeper into the stuff they're saying, it gets
is never good.
Like I'm slight. It's never good. Yeah, just lads, you can listen to whatever you want to listen to. If you want to listen to Rogan, but just make sure you're trying to expand and round out the views and the information you're consuming. I know to some degree you're like, fuck Rogan. I'm Mr. on the fence about fucking everything.
Degree.
To a massive extent.
To a great extent.
To a great extent.
To a great extent.
I'm not even that consciously checking shit.
Shame
as well.
on
I
you.
just dismiss a lot of stuff that I know. I'm
No, I'm joking.
I know. No, you're right. No, but like I get this as well, because like I always have this conversation with people. I listen to so many fucking podcasts, and Rogan works his way into the mix, and I do listen to him half the time going, you fucking goon.
But
I'm
that's
yelling
like,
at him.
you gotta be more discerning with that kind of stuff then, because you just
what I listen.
You just feeding his audience, you know. You're just.
This is true.
That's the thing. I think, you know.
I don't know. It's a. But what I'm getting at is, what I'm trying to get around to is, and I do like sometimes where you sit quietly and wait for me to try and arrive at a point. What I'm getting to is, we all meet these people in day-to-day life who love Rogan and love Peterson, and it's all they're consuming. And it doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they're not looking at what they're consuming a little bit. And as you say, once you start talking to these people and interrogating just a little bit, like if you met somebody on the street, would you not be sound to them? And it's like, oh yeah, I suppose I would. Then it just kind of falls asunder if it's given any fucking consideration or thought. Am I making sense?
Yeah. It took you a while to get there, like you know, because, like it's.
Yeah, I always worry about anything that's actually around any sort of serious topic, because I like to think that my thoughts and views are considered enough that they boil down to, can we just accept everybody and be nice to one another and not be shitheads?
Michelle McNamara
put articulating
lovely,
that stuff is hard. Go on.
You know, as Kev was saying, like, you know, things are always changing and always. I mean, she said, you know, it's chaos. Be kind.
Yes. Yeah.
Who said that?
Kev's mother, Michelle McNamara.
My mother is a very insightful woman, but her name is not Michelle. I did go to the Living Dead Zoo yesterday.
The Living Dead Zoo. Oh, the Dead Zoo. Yeah, that's a different thing.
I think the Zombie Zoo. Oh dear.
Yes.
Do you know what?
That should be a thing.
That was the
That'd
Natural
be great.
History Museum, and somebody decided Dead Zoo was cooler. Is that how that worked? They literally rebranded it.
Pretty much.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
It makes more sense.
I went to the Dead Zoo yesterday. It was cool. It was super, super busy and insanely hot. But like, it's like they had hot air just pumping from the vents from the below, and it was gross. But and half of it was closed, which is disappointing, because someone told me that there was a stuffed wolfhound, an original Irish wolfhound in there, not the ones that you see today, because they're different. But you saw,
they died out.
Yeah, there was an original wolfhound stuffed in there, and I really wanted to go see it, and it wasn't there.
I was just reading about that recently, actually. I don't know why it came up, but the idea that the Irish wolfhound was a popular breed and was exported all around Europe, and then it kind of got, I can't remember if it was like British or English colonization, but they kind of drove it out of existence.
Well, the Brits killed the wolves, Irish wolves, so they probably, and then they petered out the wolfhounds because they saw it as a figure of Irish strength.
And some fella actually went around Europe finding dogs that had been bred with the original Irish wolfhound and kind of sort of recreated
Great Danes and Mastiffs and stuff.
Sort of reverse engineered Irish wolfhound.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they're so bad on
I think
today.
Yeah, maybe I told you that, Aidan, because I saw a video about that recently. But
anyway, go on. Sorry, the Dead Zoo, was it good? Or did you enjoy it rather?
Yeah, no, I of course I enjoyed it. Seeing all the different types of Irish fish and Irish animals and stuff was absolutely fascinating. We have some crazy fish in Irish seas that you wouldn't really think of. So basking sharks and it's like big mantas and all that kind of stuff, or rays. Really, really liked it. It was cool. Then we went to the Irish Art Gallery, National History Gallery.
Yeah.
Is that what we call it? I went there and we looked at the portrait exhibition, the Zurich Young Portraits of the Year and
cool.
Portrait exhibition with the likes of David Booth and stuff. Really, really, really good. There's portraits in there by like people as young as 7, and there's some of them very good. There's 11-year-olds banging out uber realistic portraits. There's a 14-year-old painted one of her mother by candlelight, and it was exceptional, you know. But there's absolutely just fantastic collection of portraits from up and coming young artists, and it's lovely to see that people. You know, they're not going jumping just to the iPad to draw and all that kind of stuff. There's young kids as young as 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 that are using, you know, oils, pastels, pencils, everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really do like portraiture, but I work so digitally now. Every so often I feel like I feel like it's a fraud. It doesn't count because it's a digital image. But that sounds cool. Was it expensive?
No,
free.
No,
Okay.
free.
Like I guess I'm wondering if it is. Like I know, it's free into the museum.
The Turner
There's some
exhibition.
stuff that's, you know, there's usually an event.
I think you have to pay to get into the Turner exhibition, but I've not done that yet. But I do want to. But I think it's only here till the 6th, so I might try and do some more next week.
Not a bad idea.
But
actually. Might do it at the weekend.
Yeah.
Find anything that weekend?
The 6th.
6th is the Monday.
The 6th. I can meet up with you early on. Wait, no, you would be working Friday, won't you?
Friday. I might go Saturday.
Colin's sick. Yeah, we'll see what the crack is. Sounds good. Yeah, could do. We could get up early, have brunch, go to the Turner Museum, then go our separate ways because hate you. No, we could also go comic book shopping.
Yeah, we'll have a look into that now.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a gallery.
Now I'm going to mess up this gentleman's name, okay? Not through any ignorance, because I will consume a good portion of the gentleman's content. I really appreciate the live streams that himself and his wife do as he colours his wife, answers questions and talks, and they're all very interesting. It is Scott Christian something, I believe his name is, but let me see. This is an awful.
This is an odd old segue. What's happening?
Scott Christian Sava. No, we're just talking about art there and all that kind of jazz. And I was watching a live stream of Scott Christian Sava, and animator, artist, all that kind of stuff. Very cool guy. And he was saying that, and I really liked his take on it, because we're talking about AI art a lot this week. I had friends who were showing me stuff that they were doing on Midjourney. Nuts stuff, not into it. I saw a Midjourney John Wick comic and it looked awful. But
again, this is a whole conversation around the AI stuff that's popping up at the moment, because I'm definitely aware that it's just like, it's a tool that's going to become used, prolific. It's just going to be there. In the same way that illustrators railed against photography and photo reference and fucking camera obscura in the early 20th century and whatever the hell else, AI is going to work its way
Yeah.
into art production, even if it's just that, like, you throw a bunch of fucking concepts in, get a rough image out, and use it as a basis. It's going to work its way in. But,
yeah, but that's what I was
Sorry,
going
go
to say. It's just to kind of go with my original point to agree was the point Scott made, which I thought was good, is that like kind of it's so sad that people are using AI to create the fun things and not using AI to take care of the stuff that would like free up our time to do the fun stuff, like pursue art and be creative. You know, it's like we should be more focused on our AI to be like doing our laundry and cleaning our place, so we can sit down and create, as opposed to taking away.
that is funny, actually, when you phrase it like that. Somebody's putting a lot of effort into having it take over the creative pursuits.
Yes, yeah. That's why I wanted to bring up Scott, because he might have been been referencing somebody else or quoting someone else when he said it. I can't remember as such, but the first time I heard it was from Scott. But it's such a good point. It's just like, why are we using this stuff to take away the fun stuff of life? That's the dumbest thing ever. Like, I'll never get behind it.
Well,
I don't understand
I think,
it. That's just me.
You know, trying to be as empathetic as it is, even if it drives us fucking insane, there is such joy in being able to create. Watching somebody play music and knowing 100%. That I can't do it is frustrating. But seeing people, like, then you see people that like get digital tools that help them create things that are, you know, it's not quite the same as composing a full fucking symphony or whatever the hell else, but like people with very limited musical skill, access, education, whatever, can create stuff that's music and they can feel proud of it. And I think there's an element of people that don't have a lifetime of painting practice who want to feel like they can create an image. And they take joy in that.
Yeah,
so it is
course.
sort of an access thing to creativity. But that's me rationalizing.
No, I don't know.
You don't
if
think
I'd
it's
agree with
access to
that.
creativity? Like, whether or not it counts, somebody feels like it counts.
I would think that they are not an artist or understand art at all. Art is rarely, if ever, about the final product, and it's always about the process. And people skipping that process just to create an image. They may as well just like type into Google, find an image you like online, and then be satisfied with that. Look what I did.
Yes, I kind of agree. It's a bit, but it's
I know it's never about. Art was always about the journey, never about the finished product, buddy. Me personally, man, because like, you know, put it this way, like, not that the finished product isn't the end goal, of course it is, but how many bung drawings and crap drawings have you done where you've been happy with a hand or happy with something, you know?
I guess expand on that concept a little bit. Art is about the journey for us creating it. We have to try and find joy in the process or some sort of satisfaction in the process, because it can be so fucking frustrating to be sketching and drawing and ultimately finding the image. In terms of the finished product, again, I was just listening back to Koi's episode, and he iterates or reiterates the idea of art as communication, and it's the final piece that communicates something to somebody and makes a connection to the people going out there. And I do love that sentiment. So I guess I'll just add that to yours. For us, the finding satisfaction in the process has to be there, or should be there. That being said, how many people have we heard say the phrase, you know, like, have you ever heard the phrase, I enjoy having written, but writing isn't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like writing, but I enjoy having written. You know, I've drawn backgrounds for animated projects where, you know, it's all of Dublin and I've got to draw 4,000 fucking windows. And I'm sitting there for, you know, I've done the sketch, I've done the layout, and that took 20 minutes. And I'm like, yep, I know that I could, if I sat down for the next 3 days, execute this. The actual act of sitting down and executing it is a nightmare.
Yeah, but that's the struggle of an artist, pal. That's what it's about.
Struggle.
But that's for me. That's like kind of that's it. Like, you know, it's like you know, forcing yourself to do it to a degree. You know, that's creating is tough. Like, it's meant to be tough. It's meant to take it out of you. You're meant to feel exhausted after it, even if you've had a good time.
Suffering. Enjoy it.
Exactly. If you're going like because you know, as much as it's great to say like it's the final product and how people connect with it and all that kind of stuff, like not everybody's getting a final product out there for people to connect with. A lot of art goes 90% of art that's created in the world gets put away before anybody ever sees it.
Let's put you on blast.
Correct?
It is the 29th of January. Where are we at, synopsis or thumbnail wise? You owe me a comic book.
Synopsis. I do owe you a comic book. 29th of January. I have
31 days
to do it. 31. No, but I have 1 day left to do it because I haven't done it yet.
You owe me a synopsis.
I owe you a synopsis. I can get you a synopsis by the 31st of January.
So, for the listeners, Kevin is creating a comic in the year of 2023. First milestone is...
I don't know if I'll put this out there.
Then you need to deliver. First milestone is synopsis is due end of January. Check in next week as we review the synopsis. There will be no content in the podcast. I'm just going to have read it and we'll have provided feedback and we will tell you whether or not that happened. That's it. Yeah?
Yes. Okay.
Fair. Accountability, buddy.
Fair.
You're my accountability buddy.
Yes, I get it.
I went to see the Fabelmans yesterday. Finally went to see it.
And how was that for you?
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to think what the last Steven Spielberg film I went and saw that like I really enjoyed was, because he's such a part of growing up between Indiana Jones and E.T. and...
Absolutely. The first director I was ever familiar with, name-wise. Surely, right?
Yeah, Jurassic Park, Empire of the Sun, Amistad, where I start to fall off, and it's not even fall off, it's just, I guess maybe it's take for granted that this man exists and makes films. Like, I didn't like AI. Minority Report I'm fine with.
I like AI.
I'm fine with.
Go from AI and give me like kind of more contemporary from like his 2000s work.
Let's draw a line under the 20th century at 1998, Saving Private Ryan. The next credit on his IMDb here as a director of a feature film is AI in 2001.
Yeah, let's go director.
Minority Report 2002.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Didn't realize that was Spielberg.
No,
great movie.
I feel like so AI.
I forgot, obviously.
AI is I don't know if it's a passion project or an obligation project or a relationship project. It's a Kubrick film that never got made or was being talked about with, I can't remember the specifics, but Spielberg and Kubrick were working in and around this idea. And Kubrick passed away and Spielberg took it up and did it.
Kubrick's dead.
Yes, since at least 2000.
Yeah, I remember.
And I felt I didn't like AI. It didn't work for me. It was
fair.
Whatever. I was so bored in the cinema. I was so bored, and just when I thought it was over, it went on for another 20 minutes. So I always think of Minority Report as him going, "Oh, by the way, I'm still Steven Spielberg and could do a fun sci-fi movie," because it came right after it. You know.
Okay.
Catch Me If You Can. I liked it. I only saw it the once.
Oh yeah, okay. I did see. I just saw it once. Yeah, I don't have, and I have no particular memory of it being outstanding or anything.
It's fine. It's got great stuff in it. It's got absolutely amazing stuff. It's a beautiful world. It's great performances. The characters are fun. It's just some of his films are really engrossing adventures that just pull you and hold you, and that one not so much. I think the character is so kind of innately unlikable, like the lead guy. You know, whether or not he's
Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, whether or not he's a charismatic con man, you spend the entire time going, "Fuck this guy." Like, even if we see some of the emotional weight that leads to the decisions he makes, at the end of the day, he's still robbing people and he's still getting into relationships with people under false pretenses, and he's still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a crook.
Yeah. The Terminal, War of the Worlds, Munich's great.
War of the Worlds definitely went over my head. Munich definitely went over my head.
Well,
I did see Munich, I think, and I did see War of the Worlds, but wasn't massively enamored by them.
Yeah,
Ryan's back.
Adventures of Tintin.
Didn't watch it.
Could not get through it.
Was that live action or?
It was that
Animated.
Zemeckis style motion capture.
Okay, that's the Christmas Carol stuff, right?
Yeah. Warhorse, Lincoln, Bridge of Spies, The BFG, The Post, Ready Player One, West Side Story.
So I've not watched a good bit of of Spielberg in the last 20 odd years. I've seen very little of those movies past.
I think his last
maybe
really good film was
2006.
Minority Report.
Yeah, I was just saying that Brian, and I know you love that movie as well. It's a great one. My older brother Benny, shout out to Benny, he loves it as well.
I got to The Fabelmans anyway. I watched The Fabelmans. I really like The Fabelmans. It's a biopic.
Say the Fabelmans again.
I'll say The Fabelmans.
It's a fucking
saccharine
love letter
and
to
it's
himself.
schmaltzy.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
It's just
How is it disgusting?
Exactly.
I'd make that movie if I could.
You would, of course you would.
You wouldn't make a fucking love letter to yourself? I'd make a love letter to myself.
I don't believe you would. You're too riddled with self-loathing. You'd never get through it.
I wouldn't even write a nice text about myself. Yeah, you're disgusting, Aiden.
Actually, as you say it, I would definitely paint myself a monster.
Yeah.
God, I hate myself so much.
Same's.
That's easy to pal.
It's easy to hate myself. Thanks.
Yes.
There's a lot to hate. The thing that's slightly, I did enjoy The Fabelmans. I walked into the cinema and it says Spielberg's masterpiece on a big fucking billboard outside the front of it, and I'm like, the man made Jurassic Park, the man made Indiana Jones, the man made fucking Schindler's List, and you're
E.T.
talking about, like, this is not Spielberg's masterpiece. This is a schmaltzy biopic about himself, and that's fine, and it's lovely, and the world is great. The kid that's playing him is great. He does a fantastic job. He's got this really sort of empathetic quality. You really do like him, which is lovely. The stuff with John Ford is hilarious. It's kind of frustrating that it's in all of the marketing and it's used in trailers and he's telling the story in interviews and the clip is just all over TikTok and YouTube because it's the last scene of the film and it ends the film very nicely, and the last shot of the film is there's really funny stuff in it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Have you seen On Colin Kuhn yet?
No.
Okay, so you could have gone to see that instead, and instead you went to see Spielberg jerking off about himself.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, at least you know.
Tell me what On Colin Kuhn is about.
Yeah.
It's Aiden. He is the most.
Oh my God.
Tell me what On
Aiden
Colin
don't
Kuhn
want
is
to-
about.
Brian,
I know
Aiden's
I've
not
fucking... I
built
won't
like
appreciate
us.
shit
He
all.
wouldn't
Tell me what On
appreciate
Colin Kuhn is about. A 9-year-old girl from a dysfunctional family goes to live with distant relatives for the summer. Living with middle-aged farm couple, she discovers a new way of living. Boring. And it's in Irish. I have to read the thing. And she doesn't even talk that much, so I don't even... I'm not even going to have much to read. Ugh.
Kevin, how do we
Brian.
get this guy off the podcast? Like, permanently? Like, how do we just... Like... How do we make him go away?
We just sat recording on a Friday, Brian.
Okay.
I mean,
We just sat recording.
does
on
a
Friday
shark show up at
morning.
any point?
I don't want to spoil it, but, you know.
Wait, hold on. If a shark shows up,
Oh my god! And there is basking sharks in Ireland.
does she go and live with this family because her parents are eaten by sharks? Is she Quint's daughter? Does she avenge Quint on Colleen Quint?
Like, it sets up the CCU, so you should go
You're
see
being
it.
racist.
It's essential.
Colin Kuhn
The
universe.
CCU.
The
CCU. Colin Kuhn Cinematic Universe.
Oh,
You gotta see it.
where did you see it, Brian?
Where did I see it? I saw it months ago.
Yeah, it
In the cinema.
first came out fucking long ago at this point.
But is it?
It's
Is
been
it still?
re-released.
It's back in now, yeah, because it's Oscar nommed.
Which
Okay.
brings
It's very
us
good.
It's not on any
to
streaming platforms.
It's very good.
Brian's
You
favourite
should go
time of
see it.
year.
I will watch it, Brian.
Do go.
Um,
Yep.
best
My favourite
best
time.
picture noms.
Num nums.
Nums. Top Gun, Women Talking, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Banshees of Inisherin, Triangle of Sadness, Fabelmans, All Quiet,
Which I really want to
Avatar:
see.
The Way of Water, Elvis, Tar. It's got to be Everything Everywhere, at least for me, anyway. right?
So
Banshee finished boffin for me.
But I think it should. I think it should win. What do you think will win?
I think it could. I don't think it will.
So what do you think will?
They'll probably give it to Tar or Fabelmans or something.
I think Fableman's too light as a piece of cinema. Like, it's too...
Yeah, but they, Spielberg's,
That's just a
Joe
lifetime...
Hollywood. The Global Cabal. Epstein's Island.
I meant more that they would just, give him a
Lifetime Achievement Award kind of thing.
recognition. Yeah.
I think it should be Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's such a great movie. Elvis was a mess of a movie. I don't know why that's in there. People loved it, but it's just all over the shop for me.
I think it's more the fact it's Elvis. What's the deal? Sorry, you said another one. What was it?
Tar,
Tide or Toe or
T-A-R.
something? Beginning with T? Tar. What's that? I never heard of that.
Kate Blanchett as a
Oh, I
composer
do like Kate Blanchett.
or a... What's the word I'm looking for? Not composer.
Conductor. It's getting great reviews. So Phoebe
Right, it does.
what's it Bridges face
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
is developing a Tomb Raider TV show for Amazon.
Yes. I've heard about
It's
this.
bizarre.
Is she going to be
Unclear.
the raider of in question? I
Unclear.
can't
It's
imagine.
so funny how
she
they
is.
really want Tomb Raider to take off, but it just
It's
like
it's
even
weird
though
that
like
it
I
still
didn't
gets-
hate the last movie.
It still gets so many chances.
It's kept making money.
It's
is
weird
the
that it
thing.
still has enough any sort of cultural cash that
What do you?
some things get one shot, and if they don't take off that one time, then that's done. Whereas it's still
Yeah, and like, does anybody care? Is there like about Tomb Raider that much? I don't
Those
mean to say
last
that in a
games
kind of
were
a,
popular, right?
a mean way, but I just like
yeah
but gamers
But
though.
if the game makes that much money, and people went to see the Vikander film, right?
Yeah, I did see it in cinema, but I can't even. I think out of just one thing going, there was
But it's
nothing
still
else on.
making money. That's the thing. Like, it's
I
not
didn't hit it.
bad. It's making money.
the games are making money. The films aren't. That's what I'm saying. The fact that
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Usually,
Yeah,
if
I
a
don't
film,
understand it myself.
if it doesn't take off on that first try, it's just like, well, you know what? Would we try again? Doesn't matter if it's doesn't matter if the other medium it's in is still making money.
I think the thing is that Tomb Raider has made money in every bloody quarter, whether it's selling every form of merchandise, action figures, books,
Yes,
shirts,
oh,
comics.
yeah,
Like it just makes money in too many areas to not keep pushing it. And as long as
Does
it
it,
keeps
though?
making money, you don't think it does?
I think so.
I mean, like, kind of like you have to. I think you have to ask like how kind of like really how profitable these things are. Like, did the Uncharted movie take
That
off for them?
was insufferable.
No.
I couldn't get through that. Smarmy Tom Holland did not work for me. Like I think I
Fair.
got to the scene where he was trying to make a cocktail in a bar, and that's pretty early on.
I can't
he's
remember.
like giving a lecture as to the history of the Negroni.
I did watch the new Disney Plus show, Extraordinary.
How was it?
Brilliant, really good fun. Really good fun. I really enjoyed it. Really good crack. I don't know what it's getting review wise, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's like kind of it's in the same vein of like kind of like not necessarily Dairy Girls.
Well, that's just because your one's in it from Dairy Girls.
Yeah, I know, but I was gonna say it's just like the way in Dairy Girls, like none of the main characters are particularly likable. It's kind of the same in this. Like the main girl isn't particularly likable. There's another character in it, her roommate's boyfriend. He's not particularly likable, but it's a really fun show, and it's a really good take on like just superhero powers in this everyday world. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen it, Brian, or would you be interested?
I started watching it. I saw the opening scene. And it was good, but I had to turn it off.
Yes. Okay.
Not for any reason
I really enjoyed it, anyways.
to do with the.
Yes, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I had to turn it off.
But
So I will check it out.
yeah, I really enjoy it.
Is the whole season up, or is
Really
it
good fun.
just
Looking forward to season
like
2.
episodes?
I think so. Yeah.
The whole
Okay.
season's on there.
Yeah. I
season's
finally
on there.
watched season 2 of Derry Girls. Is Derry Girls good?
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Derry Girls has a way of ending episodes with glimpses of the history of that time with very effective use of score. So when I'm watching it, I'm like, am I being... Because it is hitting me. I'm like, am I being manipulated by the history and the music here? Or is this really funny? Because I don't feel like I'm laughing a lot from what's happening. But then I'm liking
I mostly laugh with the granddad.
the sentiment in the world. So
Oh, I think I mostly laugh
telling Tommy Tiernan he's a fucking tool.
the granddad's hilarious. I mostly laugh at is it Orla?
Yeah.
It's the crazy sister and her mother. They're so
funny, yeah.
funny, especially like when the guy who plays Father Dougal when he was there in shorts and Tommy Tiernan said something and she turned around, excuse me, I feel very passionate about this, but the way she says it, oh, I'm gonna watch them for hours. I honest to God loved it. It's a great show. The way they treat poor James is hilarious. It's so good. I think it's great. I loved it. I like Michelle, I think the girl's name is Michelle, and she's always looking for the ride, and she's so fucking like she's so obnoxious about it. It's hilarious. I think it's great. It's a good fun show. I only watched all 3 seasons recently, but I want to watch more of that, and that's why I kind of like I do like Extraordinary, because like it's kind of obviously it's more fantasy and more ridiculous and stuff like that, like, but it's good fun. It's just a good take on kind of superheroes, and then like kind of just characters not unlike characters from the likes of Derry Girls and different things like that, you know.
Well, that's interesting. I'll give it a look. I do like that Disney Plus is like, it's a Disney Plus show and it's not just an American high school somewhere.
And the lead character,
So
I think, is
that's
pretty
nice
much Irish.
Okay. Well, that's cool. More Irish, the better.
But she's horrible.
Or the Oscar nominations came out. We talked about Best Picture. I'm not digging into every fucking category.
They don't have gender neutral categories this year, do they?
Is the whale good? No.
I think that will come in eventually.
That's an interesting one, because I think they want to be able to give out as many Oscars as they possibly can. But that would cut them in half.
Unless you broke them up into genres and was just like the best actor for, drama and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure they do that already.
No, just your best
there you
actor,
go.
best actress.
Maybe you could do something like that. Or just
I
give
don't-
out 2 best
I
actor
don't want to
awards.
dig too long on this topic, because I know that Brian has no time for awards.
You what did you ask? And is a whale good?
Is the whale good?
I've not seen it. I assume it's good. It's
I have
getting
no
rave
interest in
reviews.
seeing.
Why, Brian? Do you hate Brendan Fraser? Is Brendan
I
Fraser?
like Brendan Fraser. I'm not mad on the marketing
Yeah.
campaign to make us like Brendan Fraser,
It's being
because I already liked Brendan
forced
Fraser.
down our throats.
I don't like seeing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Stop showing me pictures of sad Brendan Fraser. Like, yeah, I don't really have an interest in it, because as far as I know, it's about an overweight man that slowly dies over 2 hours, and I just don't want to see somebody suffer and die for 2 hours.
I did read the premise of a book recently, and it was talking about how the premise of the book is how a very large obese man is being kind of lifted out of his home by a crane as the zombie apocalypse suddenly breaks out. So it's this obese man stuck on a crane as zombies.
There's a Living Dead Zoo moment, is there?
I watched the last episode of The Patient. Steve Carell. Steve Carell and the Donald Gleason series. I don't think there's
And
going
is
to be...
that tied to the series where is it Harrison Ford is a psychiatrist now?
Can we just...
Called The Shrinking?
Can we just have serious questions?
Why would those 2 shows be tied together?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why
not
why
feel
would
like you
2
can't
TV
flow
shows
off
be tied
this whole
together
thing.
like that?
Yes. By your
Everything needs to have a cinematic universe.
logic, it's connected to Sopranos, which it certainly is not.
And those couple of episodes of The West Wing.
Oh, Jesus. Just talking about West Wing again. Yeah, whatever. Just watch The Patient if you want. I don't care.
It's okay, Kev. It's okay. Look, if you want to talk to me, just talk to me. I'm here.
Am I the problem?
You don't need to talk to the editor, okay?
You're a Taylor Swift song.
He's background.
Yeah.
He's editor. That's it. You're editor now.
Editor. Key grip 1. But yeah, I watched The Patient.
Best boy Kevin.
Yay! Oh, he's done the best boy. Brian gets it.
Yeah.
Senior Vice Junior President Brian. But but The Patient, check it out. It is good fun. When I say good fun, it's tough going at times.
Harrowing.
For sure. Yeah, but it is. But I don't think there's going to be season 2. I'd be surprised if there is a season 2. I don't necessarily feel like there should be. But it was excellent. It's all out now. There's only 10 episodes, and it's good. Go watch.
I started watching it, but it was the episodes were being released weekly, so I kind of caught up with the.
Yeah.
I was watching them like one after another, and then I caught up. So I need to get back to it.
I've fallen out of watching Willow, unfortunately.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it. I tried.
Bummer.
I really tried. It just didn't feel like it cared about itself. It was making fun of, not making fun of, but just like
it was weird.
It's that last Jedi. It's that last Jedi moment where Luke Skywalker throws the fucking lightsaber over his shoulder. It's like, why is Willow this flippant about being X, Y, or Z? You know what I mean?
But
like, why are they?
It's also like someone who said like, oh, let's make a movie or let's make a TV show based on this film from like the 80s or whatever, and then someone went then on to describe and tell the person about the film without showing them the actual film, and then they went off and made a TV show about it.
The remaster of Dead Space was released there a day or two ago. Any interest in that, Brian? Dead Space?
I liked the game when it came out. It looks great. It looks like a really
Comprehensive
kind
rebuild.
of detailed remaster. I don't think I'll check it out though. I think the game was great at the time, but yeah, I just it was heavily inspired by Resident Evil 4, which I loved, and I've bought
Right.
at least I played that on the PS2 and then on the PS3 as well, I think. And I'm looking forward to the remake of that very much. That's out in March.
Right.
Dead Space was kind of heavily inspired by that. It did some interesting stuff at the time, but I have no desire to like pick it back up and kind of get into it. Yeah,
Revisit.
yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't think it's as good a game, to be honest. The mechanic kind of wears out kind of quickly. Like it's interesting that you gotta.
So what's the mechanic?
It's on two kind of levels. One, you're playing as an engineer, so all the weapons you're using are kind of like future space engineer
Tool-based.
tools. Yeah. So you're initially just using like a plasma cutter, but like a kind of a hardware tool. The second thing then is with the enemy types, you basically dismember them, so you don't take them out kind of as normal.
Yeah, I played a little bit. You couldn't shoot center mass. You had to take limbs off.
And that's kind of cool at first, and there's a couple of other interesting things, but they get old kind of quick. The story's good. The story does carry it kind of through to the end, but I just didn't need to replay it, you know. Whereas with Resident Evil 4, like I played that multiple times, and then when it came out again on other consoles, I was like, I want to play that again, and I have.
You felt drawn to it,
and I'm really looking forward to the remake of that in March. I'm excited about that because the remake of 2 was.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Which one's 4? Is that the
The Village,
one in the
yeah.
village?
But not the Resident Evil 8, which is called The Village. Not that
Village,
one.
yeah.
It's the one in the Spanish. Somewhere in Spain.
Okay.
Village.
Yeah, I played it on the Wii, but it wasn't very good on the Wii. Well, I didn't think it was.
Are you going to
very
check out the remake, Kev?
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to. I seen Shane posted he was playing,
3, yeah.
I think, Resident Evil 3. You know, Shane. Cork Shane. He was posting Resident Evil 3, I believe. I think it was Shane who posted it. Could be wrong.
Oh, Shane, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Yeah, but I really like during COVID. I picked up. Brian suggested picking up Resident Evil 2, and I did, and it was by far probably I hadn't played a good few games during lockdown. It was by far my cleanest gaming experience in donkeys. That game
It's slick.
is they perfected
Yeah.
it, didn't they?
It's just very easy to kind of pick up, play. Just
Wild.
you want to keep playing it. It's over. It's pretty quick. It's really perfect length. Good gameplay, really slick presentation. Just a great experience.
Yeah, and I could like as you said, Brian, I finished it, went straight back into it straight away. So good.
It's good length.
And I really liked you have the two characters. You have
Claire.
it Jill Valentine? Claire Valentine. And what's the other
Claire
character's
Redfield.
name? Leo? Who's Claire Redfield? Okay, and who's the other guy in it?
Sorry, there's a bit of crosstalk there I didn't catch.
Who's the man?
Leon.
That's it. Leon and Claire.
Yes.
Yeah, Claire's bits were more my jam.
I remember you initially not saying that because I told you to kind of stick with it, but I think you'd played Leon first and then you were playing as Claire and you were like, oh man, I'm not really, don't know if I'm feeling this. I was like, no, stick with it. It's good.
Yeah. Well, she definitely became my jam, and it's terrifying. So yeah, Resident Evil 4, absolutely. If it's as polished and clean as the 2 remake, I'd play all these Resident Evil games. To be honest, I try to prioritize other things I enjoy over video games. But certainly, if I had time, a rainy evening, God Almighty, I wish it would just rain some weekend. I'd play these things.
What's the plan for the rest of the day, Kevin? Do you want to play some video games?
I'd love to. What's the weather like today? Actually, I don't know. The plan for the rest of the day is I think Eva and I are going to go out for a walk and then some brunch, and then I did suggest maybe doing some reading. I picked up a comic from Dark Horse this week called Astonishing Times. I think it was originally published through Comixology. It has endorsements from Screen Rant, Scott Snyder, Alex Segura. It features art by an Irish man called Rory Coleman. I believe Rory is Irish.
Yeah,
Ruairi fada.
His stuff's great.
Rory's in this book, or Rory is the artist on this book, and I think the art looks beautiful. I think it looks great, and I'm excited to read it. It's just another take in the superhero world, so why not? I'd like to read something like that today if I could. Yeah,
amazing. Let me think. I guess we should start wrapping up a little bit to let you get your walking and reading done. You're so sedate, such a gentle old fellow.
Who?
You going for a quiet walk? Might read for a bit. The life of a civilized gent.
Yes, I'd love if my life was like that. I just need a dog, so then take the dog out for a walk.
Get a dog, man.
When I get a house, I'll get a dog. A house.
You can get a dog.
No, the landlords don't like that stuff.
I guess I have shit to plug. First and foremost, Friday the 10th of February, the Bag of Cats comedy show returns to Dublin Inc. We have a great lineup involving Ian Lynham, Anna Clifford. We have an improv show called Dad Chat, which is very fun, and other stand-up comics as well. As part of that, what we'll be doing is we will be promoting our other show, which is happening a week later. I'm badly selling. February the 10th in Dublin Inc. It's going to be a great night. BYOB. Get your tickets now from the Bag of Cats group on Instagram. You'll find a link in the Instagram bio at Bag of Cats group. We are also doing a show as part of the Seen and Heard Festival of New Work, which is a theatre festival running throughout February. The Bag of Cats have a show on the 17th and the 18th in the main space of the Smock Alley Theatre. That is a 200-seater room, which is amazing because we pitched a thing and they went, yeah, put that in the room for 200 people, even though we were like, can we do the room for 70, please? So maybe we were underestimating ourselves. But they saw past our underestimation and overestimated us. So, tickets are also available for the Seen and Heard Festival of New Work from the Bag of Cats group link in the Instagram bio. They block the shows in hour chunks, so you would be going for Block 31, which features a show called Feet Pics Aren't Free, and the Bag of Cats present 9 Lives. Going to be a busy February.
Excellent.
Come to these things.
That's exciting.
They're great things to do in Dublin. Really looking forward to the Dublin Ink show, though. Those are always a blast.
When is the Smack Alley one again?
17th and 18th.
17th and 18th. Okay, I'm going to do my very best. My very best to attend and support.
And then we're trying to get a show put together in Galway. And then we're going to Lisbon for some reason. The Bag of Cats are all going to Portugal.
I heard
that's
that.
Just a,
What's that
I
for?
heard that.
what?
You almost said
What?
Spain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I did hear that as well.
That's Madrid.
I'm the
is the
idiot
capital
of
of
the
Spain.
podcast.
I downloaded Duolingo to look at what Portuguese is, and it's a mess, guys. That language is a mess. It's. I mean, I'm doing the Duolingo thing, but
I
I'm
love my Portuguese friends.
creating sentences
Brazilian
that
friends mostly.
go O, new word A, new word E with an accent, new word EU, and it just sounds hard for me to understand because it's a foreign language. But I'm doing my best, guys. Beautiful culture, beautiful language, lovely places, Spain. Can't wait for it. Portugal.